Hello everyone, Manithral here, and welcome to a little bit of an announcement video for a couple things, actually, a couple things. Number one, I did qualify for the Dimension of the Damned, so I am going to be discussing, how I got into it, and, what I did to get to where I got to. Number two, I'm going to be trying to resize and readjust my screen here. I got a different monitor. It's a bigger monitor, and so I got to adjust OBS. I got to adjust the Windows, the RuneScape interface, and all that kind of lovely stuff. So you're going to be seeing stuff like this little guy a little bit more. That actually, I'll probably hide that up here behind the webcam. All that really does is kind of now I can't even think. I can kind of control my fan speeds, so that's why you'll see that now. And to you guys, the imagery might look a little crowded, but I assure you, on my screen, everything is actually far from being crowded. It's just the point of adjusting things to how I would like them to be. Also, there's some more Dimension of the Damned news I do want to go over. That's not just so much pertaining to just me, but for anybody who is actually in it. So, without further ado, I will tell you guys how I got ranked. Now, keep in mind my hardcore account is ranked. It has the lower of the two ranks. By lower, I mean it's in the 600s, and my main is in the 300s. So there is that, and I want to show you guys. Now, I know I'm not in the Dimension of the Damned. That's mostly because you can't be now because qualifying period is over. But I will show you where I got my main qualified. My hardcore account, I kind of got actually qualified right in here. I was hiding behind a rock and I had somebody protecting me from the other side with the melee, and I was using range to take them down. So that's how I did that for my hardcore account. How I did my main account, I'm actually going to be showing you here just in a little bit. Because for whatever reason I'm having lag like crazy. But okay, right here. This is actually where I did it. I was in here. I was using range. There's one other person using range in here. And we had at least 1 to 2 meleeers. We started out with one meleeer. There was a big wall right here, right kind of where that tree is. So there's not really any room here for the giant zombie to actually spawn. I think it was called the unyielding or unwielding zombie. The zombie's huge. Okay, so what me and the other ranger did, and eventually what a meleeer did, is the meleeer hid in here with us, and he kind of took everything out that would spawn in there. And since there was so many of us, and it was during a horde, more and more were spawning there pretty consistently. But there was a lot that were spawning out in here. So what me and the ranger were doing was we were shooting and killing everything out here. There was one meleeer out here. He was helping us take him down a little bit faster. But mostly me and this other guy, we stayed right in here. We were safe. We took a little bit of damage here and there because, the meleeer, he can't account for stuff he doesn't see, or if he doesn't click one at a time. I don't blame him for that one. Also, in Dimension of the Damned, right in the center right here, there is kind of like a fire pit. So that big zombie really couldn't actually appear here because there was even a fence that went through here where my mouse is. So the only spot he might have been able to appear is right here, but I never seen him appear there once. And I think the wall actually went in a little bit there and came back out. So yeah, because it came in here because it wrapped around the town. So right in here there was no possible way for that big zombie to appear. So we were very well protected. So what I did was I kept ranging And I got a lot of kills this way, and once the horde died down a bit, I ran towards the south end of Draenor, and there's another wall that was right along in between here and this here area right here, and I stood in the gateway, and there's 2 guards, and then there's 2 open spots. Well, those 2 open spots, they were kind of positioned just right where zombies could only really cycle in one by one, depending on how they were coming at you. That carriage kind of surprised me there. But yeah, so that's how that was going. And okay, he's going that way, the cart's going that way. That's weird. But yeah, so that's how we did it. And then once it died down even more, I went north through the gate again, or through this gate, because there was a gate up top. Now these gates that are all open, you don't have to open and close these gates. But what I did was I went through the north gate here, and then I headed west and east, and I was killing a little bit of zombies here and there as much as I could along the way, where I was protected because I was using range, and I was kind of hoping to find another good safe area, which I just noticed right there would actually be a good one. The worst that'll probably happen to you there is maybe a hulking zombie, but if you have a melee friend, the hulking zombie's really not a big deal. But my end of my travels actually brought me right over to here into Lumbridge. And what I did was I hid back here towards this anvil, and I just hid right here, and they all piled up, and I just kept killing them. And that got me a rank, over 13 million points, which at the time was rank 80. And in the end, it was like 354, but I got ranked twice. And like I said, for my hardcore account, what I did was there was somebody who had helped me, and they were being my shield, and they were meleeing, and I was ranging, and it took a little bit, but we got a rank. Probably wasn't I got a rank. I don't think they did. From that, I think they were already ranked before that. So all in all, it went very smoothly. So yes, that does mean that come time for it, I will be doing a split screen, and I will have both accounts running on the same time. And now, in the interest of fairness of the competition, I am not going to be having them help each other, as is per the the rule for the multi-login is you can't have your accounts fix an event or mini game. So they're not going to be helping each other. I am going to have them basically competing with each other at different ends. Now, what I'm going to do from that, I'm not sure, because the initial plan, and this is where the finale changes a little bit, the initial plan was it was going to be this Saturday, and it was going to be kind of like the Dead Man mode, where the map size kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller until there's only a handful of people left. This one, they're going to do what is going to be called a calling, a CULL. So what's going to be happening is you're going to be getting timed. In the first 10 minutes, you're safe. Everybody is safe. After that, every 5 minutes, 70 players will be eliminated. And the 70 lowest ranking scores, so you have to keep scoring as this event is going on. If you don't score, you're going to get eliminated. If you don't score high enough, you're going to get eliminated. So the whole thing is going to be, who can score the most points, who can do what, who can do this. So that's what's going to be going on there. So what that be, after every 5 minutes, 70 players are going to get eliminated. Now, what they did say though, too, with this, is that if, let's say, at the end of 5 minutes, 20 players died to zombies or whatever. Well, yeah, zombies, because that's the only thing that can actually hurt you. So let's say 20 players die, and it has to eliminate, well, 70 players have to be eliminated every 5 minutes. Well, that means if 20 players die just from the zombies, that means only 50 players will be eliminated with the lowest scores, because that means 20 were already eliminated. It just needs to eliminate another 50. So that's what's going to be going on with that. But yeah, so that's all it's different for the finale, other than it's going to be on November 4th. If you're not sure where I'm getting that information from, there was a tweet earlier today from Jaggets themselves, well, RuneScape, stating about the changes to the finale. And when you go there, Mod Kalea, I believe it is, had made the post, and she is one that is, I think she's one of them that is behind the whole Dimension of the Damned series. So that is what's going to be, that is how I found that out. Yeah, so to avoid any issues with the multi-login, though, guys, I will not be having one account assisting the other account. That is just in the interest of fairness, because I do want to play it fairly, and it's not going to be overly fair, because it's going to be kind of hard to balance two accounts at the same time. But you know what, I'm the one that put myself in that position, so I think it's only fair that I do it that way. But I do believe that is actually all the news I have for you guys. Now, do keep in mind, whenever the event does take place, the finale, I will be recording that, and I will have it uploaded hopefully shortly after the event takes place. And just as a little bit of a heads up, I will not give a spoiler as to if I win or lose, or what rank I get until it is over. Now, if you want to look it up, that's up to you, but I'm going to leave it as a kind of a surprise for the video itself, so you guys can see just exactly where I fell. I'm not expecting to win, and I'm saying that now, but there is other people who probably won't win. From what I heard, are the current rank, well, the ranking number 1 person, he probably won't make it. From what I heard, what he did was he started a session, logged out, started a session during a horde, logged out, and it stopped his progression through that session, had his friends try to find another horde, logged in, went to that horde, and they helped him out. And they just kept doing that until it filled up the whole time frame, which isn't exactly in the best of interest either. Except for if it's true, it's a bit more shady. Also, there's people who got high scores because they were abusing some bugs, because at one point you could use prayer. That was early on. So there were some bugs in the beginning, but overall they all got ironed out, and it became quite fair. Fortunately for me, I will say that I kind of got there before it got a little bit harder. When hordes were more apparent, zombies appeared more frequently, zombies were out more. I was at that point where it was just in the middle of that transition where they kind of started releasing more and more. So, when I hit that first horde, I went to the second horde, that's whenever things seemed to actually start picking up more and more. Now, I will say this. The next time there is a competition for Dimension of the Damned, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to actually form a group. And it's going to be for me and you guys. And that's assuming, if you guys want to take place. And we're going to form a team. And what the whole goal is going to be is try to get everybody who wants to be in it ranked. And what we'll do is we'll have shield brothers, we'll have archers, and we'll adjust accordingly to it. Now, of course, you know, we're going to try to get everybody ranked, so it all depends on how it goes, but only certain people are going to be ranked at a time, and it's not going to be an overly large, massive group. It's going to be a group of 4 people, probably at most. Now, if you do play this mode in the future, and if you do want some assistance, I will assist you. But for the group that will be going into the finale, you know, I will only be able to help, you know, certain individuals. So, hopefully I can win this whole thing. I highly doubt it. Yet again, I highly doubted I was going to be able to even get into the finale, let alone actually have both of my accounts qualified for it. I think that's everything I wanted to mention for this video. I can't think of anything else other than, like I said, I got a new monitor, so things are going to be a little bit different for a little bit for videos until I get things ironed out a little bit with the setup and how I want things to be. But that'll do it for today's video, so thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, later guys.